Interest in that project. Myself, I have a medical facility. I want to be able to produce, to provide medical service to the project. So when the SGR comes, it will first of all reduce the cost of maintenance of our roads, because now bulk goods will be moving through the railway. Then once we reduce cost of maintenance of roads, we can move that money to other sectors. Then also the East African crude oil pipeline, the one which is under construction, maybe in the next 3 months is going to be completed. So to be able to pump our fuel from Hoima to Tanga, now that will be crude oil. Then from that we expect to get now revenue to fund these other sectors. But as of now, Ugandans have to bear with us. There's no option.
Now, Honorable, one of the problems we always have is the fact that some of the projects or most of the projects are never completed. And a project, especially a road project that's not complete, is another cost in itself, a burden that goes to the taxpayer. What plan, or do you think as Parliament you could bring a solution to this?
Yes. I have a very good solution. You see, of this budget now, like the one we are passing, 5% of it is going to go into corruption. That one is sure. Of the 84 trillion, 5% we are going to eat like corruption money. Now,
you plan for corruption?
It is there. Me, I may not eat, but already people have already positioned themselves. Now, what is the solution? One, we have to reform our procurement. There are things that we do that are central to all government ministries. We need to do central purchasing. For example, I always give an example of a computer. You find one computer, in the Ministry of Finance it is 2 million. In the Ministry of Lands it is 3 million. In the Ministry of Water it is 5 million. But the same what? Computer. We need now to do a database of all goods and services. We give them a price, so that when we invite contractors, we don't tell them to give us quotation. We simply tell them we want a computer for 2 million. We don't give room for negotiation. Secondly, we need to reform the procurement also. Now, if for example in Mulago we need a CT machine, you find people advertising in the newspaper here, in New Vision, in the Monitor, that want a CT machine. That is useless, because there's no company in Uganda that produces CT machines. Whoever will bid is a broker. Is a Kayungirizi. Now we need to remove middlemen, because when you get a broker in Uganda, he's also going to look for another broker in America to reach to Siemens, who produce the city. Why don't we go direct to Siemens? Indeed. And they give us a quotation? Indeed,
thank you very much, Honorable, representing Budadiri East there. It's been an honor speaking with you, and enjoy the day. You are watching UBC TV. It's the National Budget Day 2026-2027. We come to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds. It's where the budget shall be read in just a bit. It's where we shall see the briefcase that will be held this time round by Honorable Henry Musasizi. Of course, many Ugandans, as is, will miss Honorable Kasaija, but as always, every term comes to an end, and this time round, it will be Honorable Henry Musasizi. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, UBC.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
A pleasure having you this afternoon.
Thank you.
All right, to our viewer, who are you and what are you representing?
I am called Wokuri Joffre. I represent the people of Bungoko South County, Mbale District. Today we are here on the day of budget presentation by the Finance Minister, and what I expect is not very different from the usual budgets. It's the time we see how our country is showing us the estimated income in the country and the estimated expenditure. Right. What we have, how much do we have, and how have we planned to spend it in across sectors.
Right. I know it's not yet read, but as a member of Parliament, you already have wind of the framework paper. What are your feelings about the plan so far that has been allayed for it to be spent or planned for?
Yes. For me, even when I have not seen, but what I expected to see that it can benefit the country, I expected the allocations more to be in the agriculture sector, because currently we are facing rampant youth unemployment, and as you are aware, agriculture employs over 80% if well improved. So we are looking at seeing policies that can promote agriculture, policies like value addition to agricultural output, implying we see that they will. I expect plan is to establish some factories which will add value to agricultural output, and in a way other amenities will be improved to control rural-urban push factors to enable the youth to stay in rural areas and get employed, and maybe limit on those who cross the borders and get problems outside Uganda.
Right.
But as you are aware, I told you that Uganda up to now still almost borrows more than we receive internally, and this has come as a result of some money borrowed is kept in people's houses. Money meant for projects are kept in houses of those who are supposed to implement. And I'm happy with Muzei's theme of this year, this financial year, actually the term of 5 years, no sleep and no corruption. If really it is actualized, I think this time we shall begin. We expect to borrow less than usual. I expect to see that government finds a way of improving revenue. Right. For example, if they can put policies that can allow local investors, that can enable local investors have some taxi incentives, like giving them also tax holiday, like they give to foreign investors.
Right.
This can widen, can expand the investments and employ more youth, and then they can contribute to tax in terms of pay as you earn.
That's very true.
Includes the resource basket.
Now, Honorable, you will kindly allow me just cut the conversation for now, as we also give time to the event that has begun by the Clerk of Parliament. There you are watching UBC TV, coming to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds. It's the National Budget Day Reading 2025-2026. That is the financial year 2025-2026. He mentioned agriculture, and he hoped that agriculture would receive quite the bit of funding. And if you actually read the framework paper, amongst the ATMs, first and foremost, the budget is focusing on ATMs and thereafter its enablers. The ATMs include agriculture, tourism, mineral development, and science and technology. Agriculture amongst the ATMs takes the lion's share with about 2.2 trillion there. And of course, the Honorable Minister will be giving us the detail of the plan there under agricultural industrialization. But the good news is for Abalimi, the farmers, at least you know that there are many opportunities and priorities that you can look for and look into regarding the national budget 2026-2027. Now with me is Honorable Shamim Malende. A very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, viewers. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yeah, we are
right.
Yes.
Now, the opposition passed its own budget of 71.4 trillion. The budget that was passed by Parliament is 84.3 trillion. What statement does that make?
The most important thing when we come for this budget reading is to actually see that we put resources where they are supposed to be put. We prioritize areas which Ugandans say should be prioritized. For example, when we prioritize, for example, the health sector, we prioritize the education sector, the infrastructure, and so many other things, the economic empowerment stuff that can actually help a lot in this country. So when it comes to budgeting, we are looking at prioritization, but also apart from issues of apart from the issue of prioritizing areas, looking at areas of prioritization, we also look at once these funds have been expended, or once they have been passed and maybe money is released, the next question is that money actually utilized in areas where which have been actually presented to us. So that is another area which we look at. But we are also looking at sectors where money is actually diverted or put, but when we are looking at some other sectors that receive actually more funding than actually sectors which need more priorities. So when we are looking at all this stuff, we follow up with all this stuff, and we really need it to be incorporated. That's why when these budgets are being passed, or when the presentation of the budget is being done, we expect all our people, the people of Kampala, the people of Uganda, to be following up, and we go and also break down this to them. But even when we find issues of mismanagement of these funds that have been allocated, then we have to do a follow-up. That's why actually Parliament has those accountability committees that are supposed to ensure that we follow up. But the challenge that we have got also there is that even after maybe Parliament has passed resolutions and maybe some sanctions are supposed to be put, sometimes the law is not followed to the letter, and we end up, not actually implementing reports of committees of Parliament, because we've seen so many people say, opposition, you own accountability committees, but what do? You talk but you don't bite. We may not bite because we do not have the capacity to implement our own resolutions as Parliament of Uganda or as opposition. So these are all most of the things that we look at. But what you said, or what we presented as the opposition, we feel that it's the best for the people of Uganda, because as you know, we are the alternative government, and actually we are the people that the Ugandans have entrusted with this nation. Only that, as you know, our victory was a bit stolen here and there, and actually we are even clad in this black attire, as you can see, because we are making statements about some other things that are not going well in the country, but also we are saying we have to be here because this is taxpayers' money. We have to listen to this budget presentation, and then we can see how best we are going to walk the talk.
All right, allow me just speak more into the attire that you've talked about. Is it that most of the opposition members of Parliament are wearing black today to make a particular statement?
Yeah, this attire which we have decided to wear today, which is black in color, we are making a statement that we are not comfortable. Ugandans are not comfortable with the situation that's going on. There's a lot of evictions of persons from their places of work, places of residence, without offering them alternatives. We are saying that there's a lot of corruption in the country, and there is a lot of talk but not walking the talk. We want to see that people that are engaged in corruption, embezzlement of funds, are dealt with as the law requires. We are wearing this attire because we are saying that we are not comfortable with people who are being put in prison and are not being tried. People are in prisons, they are not being produced in court. We have the issue of political prisoners, we have abductions that are going on in the country, and we are not comfortable with this situation, and Uganda is actually very sad about the situation. Our public health, our health sector is in a mess, the infrastructure is wanting, money is being stolen, there is a lot. So this attire is a statement that we are not happy as Ugandans. Yes, we are participating here because we have to be here. It is our mandatory role to be part of the budget process, to see where our taxpayers' money is going, and we can follow up as members of Parliament. But we are still not comfortable with the way how funds are being dealt with, how loans are being passed, and yet money is swindled by a few people.
But actually you missed the State of Nation address. What statement do you think that was making?
We missed the State of the Nation address, but we are saying that we are not predictable. You don't expect us to say that, because we missed the State of the Nation address, then we must also miss the budget. We also keep some secrets to ourselves. Sometimes we can say, let's go for this and let's not go for this. I think it is our choice to choose how to oppose this government and how to, devise means of removing them from power. And, by the way, black is also a reflection that our victory was stolen, and we're still fighting to reclaim that victory. The top office.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Shamim Malende. It looks like even politics has some bit of drama. One would think as if it's a bit of Telemundo here and there. But that's been Honorable Shamim Malende. You're watching UBC TV, and we come to you live from Kololo Independence Grounds. The theme of this year's, or the following year's budget. This year's budget is ending on the 30th of June, and 1st July will be the 2026-2027 budget in implementation thereafter. But the theme is full monetization of the economy right there. Now, did you know that 1st July is when the budget that has been passed and read is begun in operation, but also therein it's the time that the planning for the following year's budget begins, and in about December it's when framework papers are sent to MDS to also look into what they need, what they don't need. The question though is, does this give accounting officers ample time to plan and budget for the different ministries therein? Those are questions to wonder and to ponder on, but as time goes by, we'll definitely be getting the different experts from different ministries and different arms of government to speak their 2 cents, and of course the representatives from civil society organization. If you look at areas like URA, 2024-2025, URA managed to get to its target of about 31 trillion Uganda shillings of collecting that. In fact, it even surpassed, it went to about 31.63 trillion there. And in 2025-2026, of course, the boat hasn't landed yet, it hasn't reached the shores yet, it's still sailing, but we'll be finding out if the target that was set, which was at about 7% increase from the 2024-2025 budget, was indeed achieved to 100% plus. Now 2026-2027 has the goal for URA as a target collection of about 40 trillion Uganda shillings, an increase of about 9% from the 2025-2026 budget therein. And of course, we'll be also studying by the first quarter, will URA have collected the target set for the first quarter of the 40 trillion Uganda shillings. It is Matters Budget, and we are at the Kololo Independence Grounds, the day of the national budget 2026-2027. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. We'll be definitely coming to you with different players and different stakeholders speaking into the budget. One of the statements that has gone loudest for me so far, especially from CSOs and even the PSST himself, the permanent secretary and secretary to the treasury, is the fact that Uganda's problem is not money. Uganda's problem is not money. In fact, Uganda's problem is not policies at that, but implementation. And I look forward to having a conversation with the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Finance and secretary to the Treasury therein to just find out then what is the solution? What is the solution to making sure that implementation actually is at par? As we all know, about a week or two ago, he took to his social media to announce to Ugandans that national events would be rationalized and would be in fact cut off in a bid to save monies off the Ugandan budget. So events like Women's Day, Labor Day, Heroes Day, Independence Day, they'll not have large gatherings or celebrations as has been the case, but rather the president sitting at State House and giving us an address right from his place, and the address placed or put on or aired on TVs and radio stations, even social media, and this is in a bid to cut costs. And the other question on the mind of Ugandans is, if these costs are cut, are they actually going to serve the purpose? It's one thing to cut a cost, but it's also another thing to make sure that the monies that are being saved from cutting that cost are actually being distributed or allocated to where exactly they are meant to be. More and more is what we bring to you, more facts about the budget, and of course we are looking forward to Honorable Henry Musasizi reading to us this budget. One thing for sure is that you have to pay attention to that detail. You have to pay attention to the nitty-gritty of what each allocation means. I mean, from the ATMs, agricultural industrialization is taking about 2.2 trillion, and there in second to it will be science and technology, following about, I think, 1.1 trillion there. Third will be mineral development, third will be tourism with about a 500 billion there, and the fourth on the list of the ATMs will be mineral development. And of course, we'll definitely be looking forward to hearing from the different ministers, MPs that are concerned with the different sectors in regards to the ATMs, what their expectation is, what their plan is, and what exactly or how exactly is the money expected to be used at that. So just stay tuned to UBC TV, the national broadcaster, as we bring to you all the events regarding the national budget 2026-2027.
There's a lot of excitement because this is the first time that he's going to be reading the budget speech on behalf of His Excellency President here in Colombo.
The national budget, Uganda national budget, is going to be read 2026. That is for the financial year 2026-2027. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, but with me is Honorable Chiriowa Chiwanuka. Very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Julie. Good afternoon, all of you viewers.
Right, and congratulations now that you are the one cheering on and serving the Defense and Veterans Affairs.
Yes, thank you very much. Looking forward to serving the nation. Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Now, security is receiving about, is it a 10.2 trillion on the budget allocation? What does that mean? Because I know it's an enabler to the ATMs. Without peace, there's no way the ATMs will operate. What does that mean? What does it look like?
Well, first of all, we sincerely appreciate the President Museveni and the government who have put together the budget, because they've given the security and governance program a good portion of the budget. Of course, it is going to sound selfish and unrealistic to say that even that is not enough. Our kind of service requirements are much higher than what, but we sincerely appreciate that. But like you said, it is impossible for you to be able to get these ATMs, the agro-industrialization, tourism, mineral and oil and gas working, or even science, without having the enabler, which is peace and security. So one of the biggest drivers in our for our economic prosperity will be peace and security. Of course, at the security and governance program, we shall do our best with the resources that are available to be able to meet the expectations of the people of Uganda. What you can be sure of is that President Museveni's government, the NRM government, will guarantee you peace and security. Uganda will not be a theater of any chaos. Uganda will be peaceful. And even with the resources that are not, as we said, fully adequate, we shall do our best and ensure that the security is maintained.
Right, Uganda will not be a theater of chaos. Very interesting wordplay there. Honorable Heroes Day has just been celebrated just a day or two ago. And some of the veterans, those who fought the Bush War, believe that there should be something like a Historicals Council to look into the affairs of the historicals, or historicals' voices be heard on the floor of Parliament. With this budget, about the 10.2 trillion therein, is there a hope? Has anything been allocated to them? Is there any hope of something to be made for them?
I must tell you that veterans are not a by the way. They are a priority. And in the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs, that is a major priority area. So the Minister of State in charge of Veteran Affairs is focused to assisting and making sure that our veterans, the people who sacrifice for our country, who give service to our country, actually are able to continue living their lives as normally as can be, even after service. So yes, it is a major issue that we are looking at, and we can assure you that even in this financial year, a great deal is going to be done to try and reach out and deal with the challenges of veterans.
Now, on the other hand, the young people or those who have not walked the journey of what the historicals have faced, or even what the veterans who are serving under to-be veterans face, one would wonder, don't they plan for themselves? How come they end up, some of them end up in dire states and have to look to the government or cry out to the government for funds such as that? What would be the rationale in between?
I think we need to be mindful of our history and where we are coming from. You must remember the people who fought in the NRA war and the veterans who came in the first part of the NRM government were actually working for no pay or almost very little pay. In fact, if you look at our pension system, not only in the veteran space, we have a lot of people in Uganda who did not prepare for retirement until government came up with the NSF structure, and even the NSF structure does not take care of everyone, many people in private sector. So yes, the circumstances at the time did not allow those veterans to prepare adequately. But for the youth today, because of the infrastructure that has been put in place, the legal framework that has been put in place, you know, just in the last term we amended the law to allow even private people to plan and save in NSSF. Those are incremental processes that we are taking to make sure that people plan for their retirement. But of course, for the veterans at the time, they did, I mean, they were fighting. There was nothing to save. What were you saving? There was no pay. There was no economy. So what were you going to save? It didn't exist. So their circumstances are different, and that needs to be understood that way. That yes, there was no social security prepared for them at that time, but even the circumstances at the time could not allow for it to be done.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for your time.
Thank you.
Do enjoy this day.
Thank you.
All right, that is Honorable Chiriowa Kiwanuka. Now, the Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. You are watching UBC TV. We are at the Kololo Independence Grounds, and as you can see, the weather is scorching hot. As was reported that this is a drought season. It's going to be a hot season, dry season at that, and one would wonder what allocations have been given to cater to that, especially for farmers. The Parliament just as of yesterday, did get to deal with the irrigation scheme loan that was passed. A loan that has rather interesting facts around it. For example, just the loan financing, a loan that of course Ugandans will have to pay, costs about 9 billion thereabout, and one would think of, just before we even receive the money, the money that's to finance that loan in itself is a lot, and yet it's on you and I to definitely pay as a Ugandan. But of course, some of the things we know about the budget that is to be read is the fact that it is a total of 84.3 trillion Uganda shillings therein, up from 72.4 trillion Uganda shillings as of last year, and therein it's about a 16% increase to that budget, making it the highest budget so far. Last year, 72.4 trillion Uganda shillings was actually the highest at that time, and this year 84.3 trillion Uganda shillings is considered the highest. What does that mean? Is it bad? Is it good? Of course, we'll be engaging in the depths of the conversation, but one thing for sure, it means that Uganda as an economy is growing. And for anyone, even if it's you and myself, when my pockets grow bigger or when I earn bigger, my spending will indeed also increase in one way or the other. We can indeed look at it from that vantage. But one thing for sure is the fact that we are also going to get more and more stakeholders to speak into this budget on this 11th day of June 2026, a day that is very scorching. And if you're seated wherever you are and you're enjoying a cold bottle of soda or water, enjoy it. We'll also be knowing how much has been added to maybe beverages, you know, things like that. How much has been added to liquor? How much has, of course, for fuel, petrol, quite a lot is known that has circulated that 200 shillings has been added therein when it comes to matters of fuel. Keep in mind the Strait of Hormuz that has already affected Ugandans. In some areas, a litre is already at 6,990. Add to it the 200, we might shoot to a 7-8K a litre of petrol or diesel. But indeed, we are here to bring you all the detail as it comes. A very good afternoon to you, Honorable Katesho.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How do you feel this budget day, and what are you expecting out of the reading?
Well, first of all, it's a good day to show the people of Uganda the work that has been done in the last 1 year to prepare the budget. As you know, this budget links with the National Development Plan, the Vision 2040, and the NRM Manifesto. So as we are here, we need to show the prioritization that has been done so that the people know what is in the budget for them and what the government is planning to do.
Right. The NRM Manifesto's slogan is protecting the gains. And because it's the ruling government, obviously the goal is to protect the gains. With this budget that is to be read, do you think the gains are to be protected? And I'm speaking of it in this sense. One of the goals that President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has emphasized is to make sure that there is money in a Ugandan's pocket. However, the budget seems to be taking away a lot of money from a Ugandan's pocket. As they earn, they are paying taxes. Do you think that is balancing?
No, on the contrary, money is in saturation, because when the taxes are made, the collections that are made are feeding into the budget. So if you look at the investments that have been made in the PDM, for example, in the wealth funds, this is money that is going directly into people's pockets. Secondly, the budget is taking care of the enablers like infrastructure, development, money going into railways. We are building a standard gauge railway, the heads. So the money is going back into the population. So all we need to do is to wake up our people, especially those who are benefiting from PDM, to wake up and start being productive with the little that the government is putting in. Thank you.
Now, one would put it in the practical sense of a young man or a young lady working in the corporate space. Perhaps their contract says they earn about 1 point something.
Yes.
And that is gross. But by the time the money hits their account as a final pay net, it's at about 500,000 Uganda shillings. This young person has to pay rent, has to feed, has needs like any other Ugandan. How exactly would you advise this young person to utilize that money, of which most of it has been cut to taxes?
You have to realize that not everybody you cannot solve all your problems based on the employment. This is world over. The richest people are not necessarily those who are employed. Just look at here in Uganda. So Uganda has got a lot of opportunities for people. You have to look at what is there that you can do that can boost your incomes, and not necessarily looking at the source of your employer. Uganda is a country full of opportunities, but I think that our people need to wake up and get into production. This is a country that has fertile land, that has weather, but we are still having a very, very big percentage of our population below the money economy. So that explains the need for us to continue sensitizing our people to get involved in production and in the money economy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Katesh. He's been speaking to us here from Kololo Independence Grounds, and that is UPC TV that you are watching. Honorable Chair Yune, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. It's as if the way you walked in is as if you wanted to interview me, because ideally this is your field.
Hey, can I start interviewing you? Because I am now in the field that I have served for over 17 years.
Right, right. Unfortunately, now you're on the other side, so allow me interview you.
All right.
First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right. Which people, for the benefit of our viewer, which constituency are you representing?
Nakasongola constituency, the center of Uganda. If you know the map of Uganda, that very central point where there is Lake Choga, actually we deserve the city to start right away, because we have all the factors that can determine a proper, well-designed city, not the congested Kampala.
There was once upon a time a conversation of Nakasongola becoming another capital hub. I don't know where that left off, but we look forward to that eventually maturing indeed. What are your thoughts on the budget that's going to be read?
Well, the most crucial sectors of every country, especially this third world, is health as one of the most crucial one. Then there is creation of jobs, especially for the youth. I have seen 5 trillion for health is way below the expectation of World Health Organization. At least every budget, health must take 15% of every budget of every financial year of reading. I have seen many health centers are understaffed. Many don't have the equipment to run proper medical checkups, and many health centers don't have actually the medicine, and the money that you see here being budgeted for goes for salaries, and actually there's no money for refurbishment of those equipments. Many are not operational. When you look at the youth, when I am highlighting the second crucial sector of life, the youth, it is very, I mean, it's a burden to government when over 20 million youth employable age are not working. It is so disappointing to see that a sector that would have blocked the cracks of unemployment, the agricultural sector, is not well funded. I'm just wondering why government cannot come out, instead of giving $1 million shillings, this PDM, $1 million shillings per individual, they would get 10 individuals and give them 10 million shillings. That amount can push those people to 50 million shillings. Then in the second year, 50 million shillings can push them to 200 million shillings. You cannot get rich on 1 million shillings. So if government would...
But the president has shown us examples over and over again of those who have benefited from PDM.
Are they from his family? Have you seen any family member of the president getting rich on 1 million shillings? Those are...
They need the PDM.
If we have watched any member of the first family applying that 1 million shillings on what the president keeps on showing the Ugandans, and we see the real evidence that those people can get rich, those are things that we can no longer expect from the president. The president would be showing us massive industrialization, where these other youth that are going. He was mocking youth that are in Dubai, in UAE, that he's asking why they are going there. It's because they don't have the jobs. They cannot find the money to look after themselves and after their children or families. So if the president was fair enough and honest to himself, he would increase that money.
All right. Honorable, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to speaking with you even after the reading. All right, that is Honorable Cheine for Nakasongola, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. That is Jacob Oboth. Oboth has just arrived, and he is one who actually recently went ahead to reduce on his budget to about a 24 billion drop off to about 3 billion therein as to what he will use as the Right Honorable Speaker, and stated that the rest of the 24 billion will be allocated to everything oversight in Parliament. You are watching UBC TV. We are live at the Kololo Independence Grounds. It's the Uganda National Budget Day 2026-2025, and now we take you live to the events as they begin. Good afternoon. And then
the traditional prayers
the president
of
is
Parliament
coming, and when the president comes, obviously you know that clearly the event has just started. Now we take you to the events. As you can see on your screen, the president of Uganda has just arrived. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has just arrived there, and in just a bit after the budget being read, we'll also be hearing from him his budget speech, and many of the things that are being thought of in regards to the president's speech is the tone that we saw at the day he swore in as the president of Uganda. The tone was quite tough. With the State of Nation address, the tone was indeed quite tough. Even the time he accepted and received his results of the declaration forms as being announced as the president of Uganda, his tone was quite tough, with one theme: Chisanja, no sleep. We await what tone he carries right after the budget will be read. We'll be coming right back in just a long bit, but of course we'll bring to you the events as they come through here from Kololo Independence Grounds.
His Excellency the President has been received with fanfare by the Uganda Police Band and is now making his way to the receiving party led by the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament before he's ushered to his sitting area. So His Excellency is waving a greeting to all of Parliament. Could we receive him warmly, please? So His Excellency the President is now being ushered to his tent where he shall sign the visitor's book. And even then the procession of the Speaker will form and House shall start in a few minutes. So for those of you who cannot see from where you are, His Excellency the President is signing the visitor's book. It's traditional that every time that Parliament hosts a guest at the level of His Excellency the President, they will sign in the visitor's book. Now this is a very special day for the presentation of the budget, not only in Uganda but across the East African states. And as soon as His Excellency has signed, then the procession of the Speaker will form and the House will start. Could you please rise to your feet as we prepare for the procession of the Speaker and the different items on our order paper. Thank you.
Honorable members, His Excellency the President and Mr. Speaker.
The anthems. Prayers.
Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the officers of leaders and parliament for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with abundant favor these your servants whom you've been pleased to call to their performance of such important tasks in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as promote your honor and glory, and advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge. Amen.
Proclamation.
Whereas under Article 1012 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda may, in consultation with the Speaker, address Parliament from time to time on any matter of national importance. Aware that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda has, in accordance with Article 1012, indicated to the Speaker of Parliament his intention to address Parliament and the nation on the national budget for the financial year 2026-2027. Now, therefore, in accordance with Rule 181 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament, I hereby proclaim as follows. 1. That Parliament shall sit at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on Thursday, 11th June 2026 at 1400 hours to receive the address of His Excellency, the President, on the national budget for the financial year 2026-2027. And 2, the Kololo ceremonial grounds to be precincts of Parliament for the above-mentioned purpose. Given under my able hand at Parliament House, Kampala, this first day of June 2026.
Administration of oaths.
Your Excellency, the President, Right Honorable Speaker, sir, honorable members, on the 28th of May 2026, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, appointed a new cabinet. Among those appointed were non-members of Parliament who were duly approved by the Parliamentary Appointments Committee and sworn in as ministers. In order for them to discharge their duties as ministers, they are required by law to become ex-officio members of Parliament by virtue of Article 78(1)(d) of the Constitution, and are required under Article 81(4) of the Constitution to take and subscribe the oath of allegiance and the oath of Member of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker, the said members are ready to take and subscribe to the oath. May I therefore request for your permission, Right Honorable Speaker, to invite them for the aforementioned purpose. And they are Honorable General Katumba Wamala, Minister of Public Service. Please come forward, Honorable Minister. Honorable Sebugwao Joyce Juliet Nabosa, Minister of State for Information, Communications, Technology and National Guidance, Information. Honorable Siraj Musa Ali, Minister of State for Works and Transport, Works. I seek for your permission, sir, to allow them to access the chambers.
Permission granted.
I, General Edward Katumba Wamala, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. I, General Edward Katumba Wamala, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
Congratulations, Honorable General. And welcome back to the House. Thank you. You'll need to append your signature to confirm that oath you've just made, and you'll receive a copy of the Constitution and the Rules of Procedure to enable you execute your duties as a Member of Parliament. Kindly turn it.
Honorable Sebugwao Joyce Juliet Nabosa, Minister of State for Information, Communications, Technology and National Guidance, Information.
Joyce Juliet Nabosa Sebugwao, swear in the name of Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, so help me God. I, Joyce Juliet Nabosa Sebugwao, swear in the name of Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by the law established. So help me God.
Congratulations, and honorable members, you can join me in receiving Honorable Wechitiwa, Minister. Congratulations, Mama, for catching the eye of the appointing authority. You will append your signature somewhere here to affirm, to attest to the oath you've just made, and they will give you a copy of the Constitution and the rules of procedure to enable you execute your mandate as a member of Parliament with all rights except for voting.
Honorable Siraji Musa Ali, Minister of State for Works and Transport, in charge of works.
I, Siraj Musa Ali, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, so help me God. I, Siraj Musa Ali, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established, so help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations, Honorable Siraji Musa Ali, upon your appointment and upon making your oath. We have place for you there and another place down. We have a copy of the Constitution and the rules of procedure of this House that will enable you to execute your mandate as a member of Parliament. Congratulations once again.
Item number 5, communication from the Chair.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Her Excellency the Vice President, Major Retired Alupo Jessica Ipel, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Thomas Tayeba, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business, Robin Naibanja, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Ministers present, the Right Honorable Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, Cabinet Ministers and Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament of Uganda, the Chairpersons and Members of Constitutional Commission, the Head of Public Service and Secretary of Cabinet, Madam Lucy Nachobe Mbonye, the Auditor General, the Permanent Secretary present, if they are here, all the chiefs, service chiefs present, the Governor, Bank of Uganda, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this 5th sitting of the first session of the 12th Parliament. Your Excellency, just 7 days ago, on Thursday, 4th June 2026, you delivered at this very venue a clear and a concise address on the state of the nation, in which you reiterated the need for results-oriented, accountable, and transformative leadership at all levels as a catalyst for national transformation. Your Excellency, as we pride in the honor of hosting you once again here today, I take the privilege of informing you that the members of this 12th Parliament not only heard, but also listened keenly and embraced your words of wisdom. The fight against corruption and non-performance is not the executive's fight alone. It is Parliament's fight as well. And together, in harmony as a nation, we will win it. Honorable members, during today's sitting, His Excellency the President will deliver the budget speech for the financial year 2026-2027 in fulfillment of his constitutional obligation under Article 1151 of the Constitution of Uganda, which states